Okay, day 90. This is going to be a good one. Braverman, Haiti, and me. As I've mentioned gradually over time during the series, the importance of the Council on Foreign Relations and Henry Kissinger's influence on Neil Brown and Eric Braverman. The reason is that really all of this is Henry Kissinger that I've been doing for all this time. You're going to find that Hillary Clinton was working for Henry Kissinger all the way back in 1974 on the Watergate Committee as sort of a spy. She was at the, making copies every night of the Watergate Committee to feed back to Kissinger's lawyers. And going to the Mina airport, that operation, which was George Bush and Ollie North, setting up the Iran-Contra funnel, you're going to find that's going to be Henry Kissinger again. So that's why I am a little bit easy. I keep saying that there's more to the story here, and it's not Hillary as evil, it's not George Bush as evil. I realize that doing the things that they do seem very evil, but that is not where the moves are being made. That's not the chessboard they're being made. They're just the pieces on the chessboard, okay? They're not the person playing chess. So given that, all these people are chess pieces on Kissinger's chessboard. And if you notice Alan Dulles, when he did his book, he called it, the book about him was called The Devil's Chessboard. And I think when Brzezinski wrote his book, he said something on the order of a chessboard. You're going to find that Brzezinski is also one of Kissinger's economic spies in the Carter administration. So you really cover with Brzezinski and Hillary and Bill Clinton and George Bush and George Bush Jr., you really cover everything all the way back to 1974. And it goes back to Nixon having a falling out with Kissinger, and that's why this whole thing started. That's why he got rid of him with Watergate. So it goes all the way back there. So that's why I'm a little bit easy on Hillary sometimes. But these operations all repeat. Whatever topple it is, it just repeats. Start with a protest, have a military plan, go in with a gang, augment it with special forces somehow, use whatever means necessary, and so forth. So if you haven't seen this before, you might want to go back because this is like, wow, I've deliberately been incremental so far to prepare people for this, but I think I've hinted at it before. Again, I'm very Israeli in terms of my attitudes and so forth. No way is this anti-Semitic in any way. But the things we're going to now do is drill down on Haiti, and Eric Braverman starts teaching next Friday at Yale. And I would just like the students to bring this stuff up to him and just pick one of these topics and just have an open debate, and film it and put it on the web. We're going to talk about how the money was spent, USAID, how the vaccination testing is done down there with his company, PPD. How about let's have a micro loan sharking debate, and let's talk about, is there organ harvesting in Haiti? I'll present evidence here that I believe it is. You're going to find this school here. Joseph Corbel is a good friend of Henry Kissinger's. These are kind of like survivors from the Holocaust. Joseph Corbel's a survivor from the Holocaust, so is Mark Rich. And they kind of were this group of, now I don't know about Henry Kissinger, but kind of I believe the Ashkenazi Jews that, ended up populating Israel. And so a lot of these means and methods come from that. And I started thinking about all this with the sex operations and the kidnapping, of these, girls for these major events and so forth. And I said, Avi Braverman, that goes back to Avi Braverman, Mark Rich, and Henry Kissinger. This school, the CIA headquarters, the underground headquarters in Denver, the whole thing is Henry Kissinger. You're going to find David Petraeus writing the JTTF to take over the FBI from the CIA is going to be Henry Kissinger. He's going to have a lot of tactical, but the strategy of taking over JTTF, because you couldn't let the FBI be out there on its own. And you had to take it over through counterterrorism. That's what you're going to find. You don't teach seminars on torture and so forth unless you're preparing people for going into environments which are CIA type environments, which is coming home, by the way. This here is not only for training foreign spies, but also for training for the operations here in the United States. And this is a police force training. This is how you use a police force to basically harvest the population. It's almost like farming. You know, having it out in Denver, it's almost like they look at the target populations as kind of cattle to be moved around, you know, like herded. When they do a pipeline, it's sort of like a cowboy saying, I want to lay a fence line down this way and sighting the fence line. I mean, and we need to get everybody off either way. And you rustle the cattle, that's taking the kids, taking the girls, and then killing all the other ones and harvesting the males. This has been inculcated in this type of DynCorp thinking, okay? And you're going to see it over and over and over and over again with the human trafficking and the organ harvesting and the microfinancing. So, again, I didn't put this picture on my wall. John Podesta did. It's a picture of people harvesting or doing an illegal. They're masked. An illegal heart removal. Here you can see there, in the emails they had these heart removal cake, and so forth. Interestingly enough, this Nemkova and Sean Penn, when they go down to Haiti, here's Martelli. She also was in the 2004 tsunami. I also think that was a peaceful nuclear explosion, or PNE. Again, Russia did 715 PNEs. In about a 30 or 40 year period of time when they were looking for oil, and I believe that tsunami was caused by a PNE, just like I believe the Haiti one was. And again, you have an orphanage for the people that are killed, and same thing in Haiti. You have an orphanage for the people that are killed, and these are the people that you use to traffic. Podesta also has this PAM email. This guy, Pam, he describes this heart transplant and says, oh, it went great for Pam. Well, that's David Fleischiker, which means flesh taker in German. But David Fleischiker is the Secretary of Energy in Oklahoma, I believe. Yeah, Oklahoma. You're going to find he knew Henry Kissinger back in Washington, D.C. when he was an attorney in Washington, D.C., before he was the Secretary of Energy. Their company, Fleischiker Company's official company slogan is rape, pillage, and plunder. So if you read through this, it's going to be a who's who of Henry Kissinger's friends. Go through the email. If you go Pam and then John Podesta, or Pam and Hart, and then you'll see that the Podesta brothers are the debt collectors. They're saying, "Hey, are you on this? Are you going to collect on this, or am I on it? Oh, you're on it. Okay, great." So you're going to see that's kind of they're doing the hearts. They're doing the hearts. I'll build more evidence. So I don't know if anybody knows this, but Haiti's the kidnapping capital of the world. It has been before the earthquake. Okay. So UN was doing the kidnapping. There's many documentaries that I put down there that talk about how the UN forces are doing a lot of the kidnapping and rape. It's rape, pillage, and plunder. There's just no other way to say that. I talked a little bit about how Cemex and these other companies will come in and it'll go and make these proposals, like USAID proposals, and it'll go in right to the end, and then all of a sudden it'll change, and you'll see the Cemex portion will triple. So that's kind of how they pad the contracts there, and then you're going to see this micro loan sharking down here. I can tell you already there's going to be a lot of illegitimate hospitals in Haiti doing the kidney removals so these women can pay for their sewing machines. And this is going to be all over Latin America as well. Just people need to put together the dots. I just don't have enough time, unfortunately. But this is the USAID money for those who haven't seen it yet. Here's the earthquake down here. Here's the epicenter. The only thing we do is put in a micro-sharking service, which is Digicel phones. Dennis O'Brien, big contributor to the Clinton Foundation. And we go down to the hospitals. You're going to go see those hospitals in the Port-au-Prince area are going to be doing the kidney removals. All the investment is going to be up here in the north. In the center is where we're going to have the UN fund zone, where the UN guys are having fun with the women. And if somebody, they're also going to be doing forced labor mining up here in Mombasa at the gold mine. It's going to be forced labor mining, and I'll show how I can prove that. Again, it's going to be DynCorp. I can just prove DynCorp's doing it in all these other places. This is a covered area where they're doing the forced mining. What they do is they make the guys put a pack on that is more than their weight in some cases, and they carry it out to the truck or the ship, throw it on. So it's really, and at machine gun point, at AK-47 gun point, there's a huge port going in here. So I think prisoners from all over the world are going to be coming here for organ harvesting, right here at Mirabile, and I think a whole bunch of kids are going to be going the other way. So, so here's the chart somebody sent me, which is great. Thank you, sources. The special envoy to Haiti. 90% of the money goes through basically the Clinton Foundation, non-Haitian organizations. Then you have a little bit goes through the government of Haiti, about 10%. Most of that's going to be to pay for DynCorp police actions. And then only 0.6% is actually going to Haitian organizations here, okay? So this Minista is kind of a play on the Haitian language, you know, the Creole language is kind of a French patois or a French dialect. Minista means UN. Okay, so here's all the UN deployments. The Jordanians are the ones that have a really bad reputation. But like I said, Bill Swing, you use migration. Bill Swing uses migration as like an army. Just like you would use an army and send in an army, you'd send in all these people and you create all these movements of resources and so forth. And the reason why I mentioned the Congo is when the last time he did this in the Congo, this is a little picture of the Congo, there were 6 million people died. Okay, so body bags right there, Mirabile. This is where they expect the action between, you know, Port-au-Prince and Cité Soleil and all these other little hotbeds here. Here's another Justra partner, another Clinton Foundation donor. He's pledged $100 million. This is Lucas Lundin, big Frank Justra partner. I mentioned Congo and Sudan because this is what they're going to do in Haiti is exactly the same. They're going to cut them in half and basically recognize those governments. The same thing they did in Libya. And here's the open strip mine here under guard. People have to carry these things out in backpacks. And these are heavy suckers. Uranium is heavy. I don't know if you ever picked up a big rock of uranium, but in this case, they also do tin, but gold is what it's going to be in Haiti. And Kagame was the guy. You basically set up on the border right here with your insurgency, and then you slice it in half. That's exactly what's going to happen in. It's exactly what's going to happen in Haiti. Again, there's the sex trafficking. That's why I say the kids are going to be going the other way toward Africa. Because we've got all this history of kids saying, hey, I've been used and trafficked. I've got 142 witnesses, and that's just with the kids we know about. And that's just 2 cases. We don't even know how many Jane Does are in the New York case. And it's all DynCorp. This is all financed by DynCorp. That's a DynCorp helicopter, DynCorp planes. So, and then they ran the same operations in Europe. So it's a repeating. Again, here's DynCorp with the body harvesting, DynCorp with the trafficking. It's like cattle. The little babies, we use them for the trafficking. Once the males, we don't need them anymore. They're not milkers, you know, use their heart. The females, you know, that's for breeding. So we'll just keep drilling down on these 1,100 hidden donors until they're published. I know a lot of people are disappointed because Trump recognized Hillary at the thing, and they're thinking, oh, well, there's the fixes in, the investigation isn't going forward. But I can tell you that I'm going to keep going forward on this, and the Trello board is a kind of collaborative tool that a lot of people just send me your email address, and I'll add you to the board. And these screens kind of like become subject areas so that we can do associations quickly and visually at a glance, and then move the investigation forward. There's the World Court, and then there's, as an option, if Chaffetz doesn't move forward and Gowdy doesn't move forward with the investigation of oversight, and there's also the Court of Public Opinion. We can always go to Eric Braverman's class and say, hey, do you know about this stuff? So Preet here, the Preet Bharara, the Southern District Attorney in New York, has brought in El Chapo. El Chapo has said, "I'm innocent." It's a big diversion away from Haiti and these emails. These emails he is diverting with El Chapo, but we've got emails saying sex exploitation, sexual crimes on this server. And this is more pressing. I mean, El Chapo's fine. We can do El Chapo as well, but this is way more, well, it's basically another side of the same coin. But this is the old HSBC thing. Just only wall it off and make it just about drug trafficking. Don't include the whole ecosystem, the whole farm system. Don't include the sex trafficking. Don't include the child exploitation. Don't include the organ harvesting. Don't include the microfinancing. Just wall it off again. That's exactly what they did in HSBC. And they look like, oh, I got a conviction. So, and then El Chapo will be in a prison with liberty. You know, you have to spend 1 hour a week on a weekend to take a picture at the prison like you did before. So anyway, this just proves you need a company like Osprey Global to do the military actions where he flies in the helicopters and flies in the little miniature tank. And then you need DynCorp once you've taken the country, and then start the farm system up. So I'll end on this just to reemphasize: we need to do the 650,000 emails. We need to send 200 agents to Haiti right away if we're serious about doing any kind of. And this gentleman here said they got 2% of the money. Looking at that chart, if he's talking about Haiti organizations, he might be overestimating at 2%. Okay, that's it for today.